listening to Exposed Living, Be Ageless, the podcast where we drop the masks, flip the script, and talk real life, real love, and real leadership unfiltered. I'm Stacey Van Thune, coach, speaker, entrepreneur, and founder of the Exposed Living movement that's redefining what it means to live, lead, and grow at any age. We talk identity, reinvention, belief, and freedom from the bedroom to the boardroom. Yes, we go there. This is not about staying young. This is about waking up. So if you're done with the shoulds and craving more fun, more freedom, more truth, more you, then grab your favorite drink, your bestie, maybe your journal. It's time. Let's do this, shall we? Welcome to Exposed Living, Be Ageless, Unscripted, and Unfiltered. With me, your host, Stacey Van Thune, leadership and wellness coach, athlete mom, and your reminder that midlife isn't the middle, it's the re-beginning. Now, around here, we talk truth. We're unfiltered, and we're unapologetic. Because the only way to create freedom in your life, your work, your relationships, is to get exposed. Yes, I say that with an X, my Gen X. Get exposed to what's really holding you back. This is where mindset meets movement, faith meets freedom, and you remember who you were before the world told you who to be. So take a deep breath. It's time to disrupt the ordinary, rewire what's possible, and live agelessly. Let's get exposed. I'm so excited for this solo episode. Now, if you've been listening or following me for a while, you know I don't sugarcoat growth. In fact, I don't sugarcoat anything. I'm the coach, the friend, the woman who will tell you that sometimes you've just got to embrace the suck, because the hard stuff is where the holy happens. It's where the magic is. And this year has stretched me more than any other. Turning 50 was this year for me. And 10 years it's been of being a single mom life. 3 years ago, since walking away from corporate security to build something that's actually meant something so much more for myself. And in the middle of it all, a couple weeks ago, I flew to Thailand. Not on a vacation, not for selfies with elephants, although next time I want to absolutely go back and see the elephants. But this time was to serve, to give, to disrupt my own comfort one more time. You see, every time I think I've reached my edge, life throws me another invitation. Ironman was one of those things this year. Thailand was another. I didn't know what we were walking into, to be totally honest with you. We stayed at the Tamar Center in Pattaya, a city known as the sex tourist capital of the world. 12 million tourists a year, most of them men, chasing an escape. Our mission was with Sheer Love International. They help men and women who've been in trafficking, whether that's labor or sex trafficking, to get out, to develop a skill set. So working with 19 students who left sex and labor trafficking and were learning new trades. The men were doing barbering and hair, the women aesthetics and hair, and the older ladies, so they said, they were my age, were sewing. But they were letting go of the past. They were starting to dream again. And let me tell you, every day by lunchtime, I was usually crying. Every single day. Not the cute influencer cries. The full body, I can't believe how strong these people are kind of cry. The cry that it just touches your soul. Because these men and women had already said yes to themselves. They just had to learn how to let go of the old story. To recognize that our past doesn't determine our future unless we allow it. They had to let go of those stories that say they weren't enough and to create a new one. Sound familiar? Because that's all of us. Different circumstances, yes, but same lesson. We cannot build a new life with the same thinking that built this one. And it's true. Our past doesn't determine our future unless we let it. So we, along like everyone I met, have a choice. Truthfully, one night we invited 21 women from the brothels to church. We brought them dinner. We washed their hands. We told them that we see them. We fed and we prayed with them. They cried. We cried. Every hug felt like a little resurrection. Another night, we went straight into the red light district with 150 condom packets, each one carrying a note of hope and a phone number. Within 90 minutes, all 150 packages had been given out. I'm not kidding. There was a woman every 5 feet, some my age, some who looked as young as my daughter. I went back to the Tamar Center that night and I just sat there and cried. Truthfully, I had tears of anger, tears of love, all of it. And I remember thinking, this is what disruption feels like when your comfort and your calling collide. That week in Thailand cracked me wide open. It reminded me that leadership isn't about having all the answers, but it's about being able to be willing to keep showing up, to be messy and still have faith. Even in those times where things seem bleak and you wonder if you're making a difference. As I tell you, seeing all those women out on the red light district, I wondered, really, is this making a difference? But it was one ripple. And I realized that's what the disruption experience is really about. Because disruption isn't just about leaving a job or running an Ironman. It's the decision to think, to feel, to act, to be different right now before our life forces us to do so. I see so many people wait to the moment they have a diagnosis, a divorce, or a change that's so drastic before they decide to take accountability in their life. And I'm telling you, we don't need to have a breakdown to have a breakthrough. The irony of all this is that I've been an athlete. Let's just talk about the last little bit with doing the Ironman my whole life. From swimming to aerobics to yoga, you name it. I joked that the first time I ever wore a thong, it was literally on the top of my leotard in a 90-step class, not underneath it. You know what I'm talking about, Gen Xers. Movement, though, for me has always been my therapy. The way I found my power and honestly could process. But somewhere between motherhood, between corporate deadlines and being the strong one, I forgot what it felt like to move just for me. To sweat because it healed, not because it burnt calories or it checked a box. So yeah, when I decided to do the half Ironman at 50, that was a re-meeting with my body. First time stepping back into the pool in over 30 years as far as training for an event. And Thailand, this was my re-meeting with my spirit. Both were outside of my comfort zone. Both were hard, and yet both were so beautiful. People always say, Stacey, you make it look easy. No, friends, let's not kid ourselves. It's not easy. I just made peace with hard. I've learned to call hard my holy ground. I recognize that when I feel that discomfort, it means lean in. And when you train for 6 hours and your legs are shaking, that's not punishment, that's proof. When I sat with women who were rebuilding their lives, one haircut at a time, letting go of one burden, one old lie at a time, that's not charity, that's church. That is like faith in action. And here's what really hit me in Thailand. We're all trafficking something. Some people sell their bodies, yes. Most of us, we sell our joy. We sell our peace, our truth. We have this need for approval, for control, for another hit of busy. Some people wear busy like it's a badge of honor. We stay in relationships, we stay in jobs, we do habits that are quietly burying our soul on layaway. And we have a choice. We're not forced to do that. This week made me look straight in the mirror and ask, what am I still selling? What beliefs am I trafficking to stay safe? This is when I realized the real work, whether you're leading a company, a team, or your kids, it's always the inner work. It's disrupting the comfort that's numbing your calling. And I talk about this because I know it. I've been there.
And they've seen so many of my clients be there. We stop trusting ourselves. We start asking others for permission, even what to do, what we like. Now, listen, I don't have it all figured out. I also have coaches. I have bad days. I cry in my car. I cry quite often anywhere I am. I'm running, coffee spilling. And, I'm preaching in my mind this note to myself of like, you've got this. I lead and love from my goal with certainty. But I get it. Sometimes it looks chaos. Sometimes there's no evidence of what it is that I want. But I have this belief and trust in knowing that everything is always working out for me. It is taking one step and the next step. And honestly, the minute I stopped waiting for perfect timing and letting go of control, everything started moving. And spoiler alert, in case we haven't figured it out yet, there's never a perfect time. If you're waiting for the kids to be grown, the business to stabilize, more money in your account, maybe the body to look a certain way before you chase your next dream, you'll die waiting. As Wayne Dyer would say, don't let that music die in you. Disruption doesn't wait. It arrives when you finally get tired of your own excuses. And really, that's where I found myself at one time. I'm tired of my own excuses. I still have to wake myself up sometimes. I got these ideas. I'm not taking action. I'm like, what is going on? But that's why this next season, for me, for you, for all of us, is about choosing a new rhythm. The one that says, I can build success without burnout. I can be ambitious and have peace. I can lead others because I finally learned how to lead myself. It is not an either or type of life I need to have. It's an and life. And that's a philosophy. And I've adopted that philosophy. That is why I choose to be a mom for my girls. I choose to be the best coach for my clients. And I choose to be the best person for myself. And that involves giving. And after that week in Pattaya, my heart, I tell you, it was heavy, but it was full. So when we finally took a ferry to the island, it was about 5 days after working with the men and women. It was a chance for me to kind of exhale, to process, to see the turquoise water, the food, the laughter that didn't need translation. It was the medicine my soul didn't know it needed. And yes, I finally had my first drink in Thailand, 7 days of service, not wine. I know, shocking. I'm a red wine drinker, but a beer. And I don't even like a beer, but I was just like, damn, give me something cold. And one of the days we sat on a beach, I remember thinking the ocean is such a teacher. Who else ever feels that with the water? It takes everything that's been swirling around inside of you, the fear, the grief, the confusion, and says, let me hold that for a while. Especially in salt water, right? Like the salt, the stillness, the sound. It was healing for me in motion. And it was just this opportunity to reflect on how much we have and like, why are we always looking for what's missing? Life can be so simple. We overcomplicate it. After spending a couple days on the island, if you want to know more about my Thailand thing, I did go to Bangkok. I went and saw a couple of the temples, the first one being the reclining Buddha, as well as the Temple of the Dawn. I also had my first kind of go in a tuk-tuk and traveled through the waterways. It was a beautiful contrast after Pattaya, and it honestly just allowed me to see a little bit more of the lightness of Thailand. It allowed me to be like the sacred and the silly, have the heavy with the funny, the heartbreak and the healing. And that's the thing I want you to hear today. Disruption, going outside of our comfort zone, doesn't just destroy. In fact, it doesn't destroy anything that we really need, but it helps to reshape it. It helps bring awareness and understanding to what it is that you truly want. It asks you to hold two truths at once. It asks you to say, I'm grateful and I'm ready for more. And yet I'm strong and I'm still growing. I'm alive and I'm still becoming. That's what I was saying about living an and philosophy in life. We've often been taught that we have to pick one other. That we're either broken or we're healed. That we're burnt out or we're balanced. We're lost or we're found. But real life, the kind that feels rich and full, is both. It is like embracing that duality, the polarity of life. And that's what Thailand gave me, a new sense of perspective. I went there to serve, and I came home served. I went to help others find wholeness, and I found another layer of my own. It is like this uncovering. It is like getting this exposed. As soon as you like climb to one step of the mountain, you look over and you see that there's more and there's more. We're infinite beings. The only time we arrive is when we're dead. And honestly, I came home sore, a bit sunburned, and slightly addicted to the Thai iced coffee. I'll be honest with you, it was delicious, but more aligned than ever. And this is what the disruption experience is all about. It's a wake-up call we all need. Because maybe your version of the red light district isn't in Thailand. Maybe it's the job that drains your energy. Maybe it's the relationship that feels safe but stagnant. Ever been in that? Like it's just, what is that movie? The Groundhog's Day? Or maybe it's a belief that says, this is as good as it gets. No, it frickin' is not. You are not done. Midlife is not the middle. It is the re-beginning. We have a whole new opportunity to have a new perspective on life. Maybe your kids are leaving your house and you're wondering what comes next. Who am I outside of a mom? Maybe you've been in a job for a while and you need just to get re-energized. Your relationship needs some pizzazz. I don't know. Your health needs like a little bit of a kickstart. So if you've been waiting for a sign, this is it. Stop negotiating with your potential. Stop waiting for perfect. Stop mistaking comfort for peace. The disruption experience isn't about doing more. It's about remembering who the hell you are. You didn't get to where you are without taking risks. And so many of us are so scared of risk because we don't want to lose what we've created. But I'm telling you, you won't get any more without just taking a little bit of risk. My coach will always say the biggest risk that we can take is not taking one at all. There's a revolution within. You know, somewhere for me, between raising my girls this year, training for an Ironman, running a business, and leading others, there's been times I forgot that I'm still allowed to dream too. And maybe you'd have. We get so caught up in being the provider, the leader, the strong one, that we forget we're also the artists of our own life. I think it was Picasso was asked, how do you paint such beautiful paintings? He says, I dream my paintings and then I paint my dream. What is that painting of your life, that dream that you have of your life? So let me tell you, when I was standing in that church in Pattaya, holding a woman's hand who just left the streets, I saw myself in her. Different story, same yearning. To be seen, to be free, to be enough, to be accepted. And it hit me. Freedom isn't something we wait for. It's something we decide to live. Every time that we say no to what drains us, or every time we choose the hard thing that stretches us, and every time we love ourselves enough to begin again, that's freedom. When we start to listen to our intuition, regardless if it makes sense, when we start living from the vision that we want, and yes, I still cry, I still doubt myself some days, but I trust the process now. I trust that every challenge is a chapter in the story of becoming, because we don't grow by perfecting the old version of us. We grow by disrupting it. And you're probably like, Stacey, disruption, where's this coming from? Like, we've been talking a lot about disruption today. Okay, well, let me tell you. The disruption experience is not a course or a challenge. It's an activation. We have less than 60 days in 2025. And what I want to offer for you is a disruption or a 30-day revolution to reclaim your vitality, to rebuild your energy, and reignite your spirit. It's for the ones who are listening to this and are done surviving success. The ones who want to feel alive again, to thrive. Not just as a nice quote, thrive in 25, but actually frickin' do it. And if that's you, stop waiting for Monday. Stop waiting for January. Stop waiting for certainty. Stop waiting for clarity. Your life is happening now. You get clarity, you get confidence, you get certainty through the action. And the way you lead others starts with how you lead yourself today. So here's my invitation. If this message stirred something in you, if you're ready to stop playing safe and start living with that edge again, come with me. Make tomorrow your Thailand. And honestly, we're going back. So don't worry. You can come with me in 2026. But to get to that place where I'll actually say yes to something like that, you have to say yes to you today. It is those daily recommitments to what it is that you want that make the huge difference. So join me in this disruption experience. 30 days to reset your rhythm, to revive your body, and to remember your power. Because the world doesn't need another perfect leader. It needs leaders who are alive. I invite you to be bold, to be well, to be ageless. Age is not just the number. It's a mindset. If you want to believe that 50 is old, so it is. If you want to believe that your life is over and you can't take a challenge at 55, 45, whatever that number is, then so it is. But if you want to remember who you are, then recognize disruption isn't the end, it's the beginning. It's everything that you were born for. And to feel young at 50 or to accept that you have so much more life at whatever age you're at, it's just a change in belief. Thanks for listening today to my solo episode here on Exposed Living. If this episode moved you, I invite you to share it with somebody else. Send it out on your socials. Tag me. And if you're ready to stop surviving success and start living with freedom, with more energy, with more fire, join me inside the Disruption Xperience. We start here in November. 30 days to reignite you, to kickstart 2026. I'm sure you, like many people, had these goals for 2025. And if you haven't hit them yet, it's not too late. Stop waiting for the perfect time and start acting. If I can tell you, that was the biggest lesson coming from Thailand. We have all this opportunity and we keep making ourselves busy and saying no to the things that our spirit is like pushing us to do. Say yes to yourself, just like the men and the women that I saw saying yes to themselves. And listen, we don't need to do it alone. That's why we have a community. You have to make the decision alone. You have to do the work yourself, but not alone. Join me in Disruption. Text me, message me. There's more information about it below in the show notes, as well as there will be on my socials. If you are interested in learning more about my trip to Thailand, please message me. Check out some of my posts. Stay tuned. We will be doing more service retreats in 2026. I tell you, there's such a sense of growth when we can give at the same time. And I love it when it's really talking about the law of compensation, that the more you give, the more you'll receive. And for me, that was my experience. There was some challenging times. It was heavy to see some of the things and to hear some of the stories that the women and the men went through. But it was so powerful in the same regards to see them get through it and to the other side and to continue to support them in their belief in themselves. I found it really interesting that though we didn't always speak the same language, we could feel each other's energy. We could connect with it. And that we're so aligned wherever we are in the world with our human spirits because we're from one source, right? But we all want to be seen, we all want to be heard, and we all want to be told we matter. And you matter. Learn how to lead yourself first. Join us in Disrupt. And please let me know what episodes you've liked the most so far. We are a few months into this exposed journey. The community is alive and well. If you want to join the community, join me on Facebook. Until next time. Get exposed, stay exposed. I love you and thanks for listening.
That's it for today's episode of Exposed Living, Be Ageless. But this is just the beginning. If this episode made you feel something, share it. Tag me. Send it to a friend. Let's start the conversation we can be having all along. No shame, no guilt. Unfiltered, raw, real, exposed. And if you're ready to go deeper, join us inside the Exposed Living Facebook community, where we take this work off the podcast and into real life. Know this, your change starts when your excuses die. Because this life, this one wild, ageless, unforgettable life is waiting on you. This is your time. This is your truth. This is Exposed Living.